Why is vanilla priced like it got drafted in the NWA? So I went to the grocery store yesterday because I needed more vanilla. I just feel like I would run out of vanilla. And then I saw this disrespectful situation on the shelf
That says $40 if you're not watching the video. $40 for McCormick vanilla extract.
at the grocery store. And all the spices were sitting up there massively disrespectful, right? But the vanilla stood out to me as the most egregious thing out there. Now, the president keeps saying prices are falling, things are getting better. For who? For who? I know in January, before he got back in office, that vanilla wasn't $40. $40 for vanilla? We should be all upset about this. And I'm just wondering how much more the government really thinks that Americans can take. You know, in the past, they would tell you, your mama would say, when you say, oh, mama, can we have McDonald's? You say, you got McDonald's at home. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's cheaper to eat that stuff than it is to cook at home. And understand the food that places like McDonald's serve, that ain't good for us. It's better for you to cook at home. What is this, y'all? Are y'all seeing the same prices I'm seeing in your neighborhoods too? And what is the most disrespectful price that you've seen in your grocery store on the shelves or somewhere in there? What's the most disrespectful price that you've seen? Because this is $40 vanilla. That's insane.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about grocery prices today. And before we even get into it, I want to let you know, do not pay $40 for no vanilla. What you need to do is you need to go to the liquor store. You need to get a gigantic container of vodka, preferably vanilla flavored vodka. That'll just enhance the flavor even more. And then go get yourself a little amber glass container with a pop top. And you want to get a like one or two pods of vanilla, like the bean stalks, and you just make your own 50 ounces of vanilla for a quarter, not even a quarter of that price. That is insane. Don't pay that. I also was driving home the other day. Well, just where I'm living, gas prices they're going up like every single day at this point. I went and got a quarter tank this morning and it cost me $30. Let me know in the comments below. What are your gas prices? What are your grocery prices? I want to hear. I want this. We all need to be documenting this. This is insane. We are being so gaslit by our government right now, which I'm not surprised, but anyway.
Hear me out, you guys. The fact that I went to Aldi's and I spent the $93 in barely anything, and mind you, everything I got is like $2.79, $1.59, $1.95. Like, how in the world does that add up to $93? Like, what? Inflation needs to stop inflating, because this is enough. I can't believe we are paying so much money for the groceries, and it's not even one bag. Everything fits. I mean, it's not even two bags. Everything fits in one bag. Come on now.
You want to know what?
One bag of groceries, $93 at Aldi's. Wow.
Why most of America is struggling? Because the price of groceries have gotten absolutely insane. I went to the store this morning and I got stuff to make like 2 meals and it was $78. I could probably go to any number of restaurants in the Green Bay area for that price, but that's not really in the budget either. So what are we doing here?
Your food prices are about to go through the roof because of the war in Iran, and let me explain why. United States farmers depend on imported fertilizers, and between 20 and 30% of the world's fertilizers come through the Strait of Hormuz. Currently, the Strait of Hormuz is shut down because of the conflict in Iran. And this is the time of year, right now in the spring, is when the fertilizer is purchased for all farmers in the Northern Hemisphere. So think Asia, Europe, Canada, the United States, everyone. Okay. And so we're not just competing for the limited resources that are coming from other parts of the world, but we're competing for the entire Northern Hemisphere's planting season. So a lot of farmers who are already facing things like significant drought in the Western United States and extremely low soil moisture are also facing the possibility of having huge fertilizer bills that they basically can't foot right now. And whether we like it or not, the global fertilizer market is that it's global, right? So even though we don't directly bring in a ton of our fertilizer from that location, we are going to be competing on a global scale for the fertilizer that exists outside of that environment. So that competition means supply is small, demand is high right now, so it's going to skyrocket that price.
Yeah, guys, if you are not into gardening, I suggest you get interested in it. Okay. If you have a tiny porch, if you have a window in your apartment, I suggest you do whatever you can to grow whatever you can: basil, tomatoes, corn, carrots, peppers, all different kinds of peppers, onions, you name it. I suggest that everybody, even if you just pick one of those things and you just try to grow that, it will help you and it will save you in the long run. One tomato plant will produce a ton of tomatoes for you. And then you roast them in the oven for a little bit, or you can them however you want, however you like, and you have food for at least a few months. I mean, it's extremely important now more than ever that you have some sort of food growing at your house, chickens, anything like that, if you have the room for it. Because food prices, if we think they're bad now, unfortunately, they are just going to get a lot worse. And it's going to hit in the next like 6 to 8 weeks because of all this stuff with the Strait of Hormuz.
And when the price for producing your food goes up, the price of the food itself goes up. This is going to be further compounded, and I'm not intending to fearmonger when I say this, but we are going to have significantly reduced food output because of the fertilizer shortage, as well as the significant drought that is being faced in the Western United States. Soil moisture is so low right now that farmers literally cannot get seeds in the ground because the soil is doing something called hydrophobia, which is where you put water down. So even if you have access to water to irrigate it, the soil can't take on that moisture because it is so dry that it has become repellent to water. So the seeds can't get moisturized, which they need in order to germinate. So a lot of farmers are actually just saying, we are not going to plant at all right now because conditions are terrible. Couple that with a significant portion of Nebraska is on fire right now. This fire is as big as the largest fire in the state of Colorado in its history, the Cameron Peak Fire, and it is less than a week old. This is a really bad situation for farmland, for climate, and for food production. So if you are not paying attention to this and potentially taking steps to mitigate this, maybe that means planting your own garden, or maybe that means buying extra beans and rice when you go to the store, I would recommend it at this point.
Yeah, and if you think that this drought and wildfire and all these events that are going on with our weather, okay, weather's not fake, but if you don't think the government has a hand in that, if you don't think that these chemtrails that they're spraying in the sky every day are the cause of all of this and what they're doing to manipulate our weather, you're tripping, because that's exactly what's going on. They're doing all of this on purpose because they don't want us to be able to reproduce food. They don't want us to be able to feed ourselves. They don't want us to have farm animals. They don't want us to be dependent on ourselves in any way, shape, or form. They want us to be as dependent on them as possible because that will give them the ultimate control.
$13.99 for a goddamn watermelon.
That's crazy.
For $11 for shredded cheese? Are you kidding me?
No,
Which has sawdust in it, by the way.
that's organic or whatever. Still, you have 96.4 for $8 a fucking pound. What the fuck's going on?
12 motherfucking 99. I know these ain't the damn.
Tell me I'm tripping. When the fuck did the cereal become $8?
Bro, $3.50 fucking cents for this, bro. This used to be 98 cents.
Like spaghetti sauce, and it's $11.99. Wow.
That's crazy. $10.99 for some fucking eggs.
I'm telling y'all, if you can get chickens, get your own chickens. And another thing I want to point out is a lot of this food that we're seeing with these really high prices is processed food. You will save yourself a ton of money if you go to the local farmer's market, you get your meat there, get some veggies, and just eat meat and veggies. You will be fine. I know that it does not taste as good. And I know that this food that they sell on the shelves, it's got all kinds of chemicals in it that makes it taste delicious. And it's so addictive. I know. Trust me. I know. But it's not healthy for you, number one. And now they're just playing with us at this point. Let's all collectively stop purchasing processed food, please. It will force them to either lower the prices or make it healthier for us. One or the other. I mean, hopefully. Goodness, at this rate.
Now this has got to be a freaking typo, because $10 for a bag of apples.
These tiny ass pizzas are $1.48. I remember a time where those little pizzas were like 25 cents a piece. You get 4 for $1, but they were called Mr. P's pizza.
Do you want to know why Americans are struggling? Probably because the price of groceries are insane. I just spent $73 on essentially one meal and a couple of extra things. I'll show you. Hold on. Okay, so for dinner tonight, I decided to make spaghetti because I don't know what to make, and it's a crowd pleaser. Everybody likes it. So I got a salad kit, 3 jars of off-brand spaghetti sauce. I'm making spaghetti for 9 people, and so that's why I get 3 jars. I decided to get the loaf of garlic bread because it was like $2, so it was cheap, but I did get 2 of them because 9 people. This hamburger alone cost like $20 for 3 pounds of hamburger. I do like to grate my own cheese, so I got a pound of mozzarella and I got a wedge of Parmesan, Angel Hair, off-brand spaghetti noodles. And for a sweet treat for my kids, I wanted to make no-bake cookies for after dinner for dessert. So I got some instant oats. We are low on sugar, so I did go ahead and buy a thing of sugar. I did buy the big thing of peanut butter because the one I normally buy is $4.99 and it's 40 ounces. This is 64 ounces and it was on sale for $5.49. So of course I got the bigger one, but it seemed like the smart thing to do. So I got some off-brand cocoa to make the cookies. Beyond what I got for dinner and what I got to make dessert, the only extras I bought these Lunchables for their lunches because they were 4 for $5. Oh, I did buy some sticks of butter because I do need those for the cookies also, and we don't have any. And then we are also out of eggs, so I bought an 18-pack of eggs. So this right here, $73, $73.02. Most of it's store brand. I also had an employee discount, and it was still $73. That's insane. No wonder everybody's struggling.
Seriously, though. That is so much money.
I wanted to buy cook a roast this weekend, but look at the prices. $35. $33. Everything costs too much. You can't afford it.
Somebody needs to explain to me why I can't afford this ground beef. I go into the supermarket, okay, because I'm looking for some ground beef for my lasagna and also for my spaghetti. I found the ground beef. Why is it $30?
Wow.
Who can afford that? And don't get me started on the chuck roast. The chuck roast is like $15 per pound. You guys, that is insane. What happened to groceries becoming more affordable? What the hell? That's an affordable line. Like, I am so disgusted right now. Dinner canceled because I can't even afford the beef for the dang on lasagna.
Yeah, and it's crazy because beef, like chuck roast and ground beef, used to be the cheapest meat you could get. I don't know if it's still, I mean, at this point, none of it's cheap, but that's crazy. Those prices, my goodness gracious. So for me, what I'm doing is, I mean, I live alone, so I don't have a family to worry about. So like, I will go hungry. I am skipping meals. I'm trying to stick to like 2 meals a day. I'm not eating processed food right now. I've cut out pretty much most carbohydrates, pretty much all carbohydrates and sugar. And I'm just eating protein and fat and trying to just eat that and live like that. And I mean, I'm hungry, but I will go hungry because I would rather go hungry a little bit and deal with that than pay that amount of money to eat food. It's insane. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the prices. How are the prices where you are? You know, is this affecting you at all, or is it not affecting you? Do you know people who aren't being affected? You know, I don't know. Just curious your thoughts, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.